Namaste, beautiful yogis. We're coming to the end of this just 1 week challenge. Today is day 6, Saturday. And I've written a few things down so that I don't forget my experiences and my thoughts throughout the day about it. It was amazing for me. I will quickly tell you how it went for me. Basically, it brought the challenge brought awareness, higher awareness to my mind and the thoughts I'm choosing. So basically, it brought some mindfulness throughout my day and choosing what I want to listen to, hear, or think, and also choosing how I relate to my thoughts or how I direct my thoughts. So that's what I want to bring as a point about this challenge is we can be the driver of our thoughts and of our actions, of course, not the victim of our mind, but also we can choose our thoughts. What we think is our choice, and that is something that should actually empower you. This type of thought should empower you. It shouldn't be something that intimidates you or offends you, because say sometimes you feel like a victim and you think you're so attached to that mentality of victimhood that saying, oh, but I choose to feel that way, everything in you can rebel against this, because you feel like, no, that's not a choice, that happened to me. There is no empowerment in this type of mentality. If you choose to be a victim, from there on, forgiveness cannot happen, and you continue on a path of self-punishment, because for you to feel bad about something that happened, or about who you are, or about something you did, is a form of self-punishment. You're choosing a continuous self-punishment forward, rather than finding the tools to forgive, deciding, changing the addiction to the lack of forgiveness, and deciding to take a different action. It's within our power. That's what I want to stress. It's within our power to change the direction of our thoughts, to change how we look on things, and to change how we feel about things. One very important thing is, if someone has caused you suffering in your life, and that's one of your major triggers and what has caused you to continue on a behavior of self-abuse, say there was a parent or someone in your childhood that caused you suffering, you couldn't at the time process it properly, and now you're in a pattern of the same self-abusive behavior. You've taken the same abuse and turned it into self-abuse because that's your comfort zone. The thing that you can begin shifting with is, first of all, choose to change. You can always choose to change. And the second is and that's powerful, and if it takes you time, that's okay, but it is the people that has caused you the most amount of suffering. You can shift it around and be thankful and grateful to them for exposing you to the dark night of your soul. Because if you never dip into the darkness, into the darkest areas of your consciousness, and into the darkness of your being, you can never come out and awaken and rise out of that. So if you have been exposed to the dark night of your soul by someone, thank them, because they sacrificed themselves by being the evil in your life, so that you have the opportunity to choose to awaken. You have the choice to not awaken from it. You have the choice to stay a victim of that, or you have the choice to awaken from it, rise above, and instead of continuing the cycle of abuse, rise above it, learn from it, grow, become lighter, spread more light. And that ties into taking full responsibility for anything you do right now and anything that has happened to you. Take full responsibility, because things are not just coincidences, and we're not just whooshed by life and things just happen to us and we're just like a leaf in the wind. We are conscious beings, and sometimes we don't understand how it happens, but things come into our life because they're gonna benefit us. Maybe not always, not everything that comes in our life feels good, but there is always an opportunity to grow there, always an opportunity of mastery, growth, and awakening from challenges. So yes, we already spoke briefly about it. Taking full responsibility is the most liberating thing you can do. Basically, I'll give you a small example. We have the capacity to choose to take action or surrender. Those are our two options. Say you're in traffic and you get so upset about it every day. You have to drive in traffic 1 hour each and every day, and it's this upset. It's just torture for you. Now, the reason why it's torture is because the ego is fighting it and not surrendering. You can't take action. You still have to get through the traffic. So in this choice, in this situation, you don't have a choice. Unless you can take action, then you have to surrender. Surrendering will feel good because you will let yourself trust the process of your living, of your life, and from there things may open up, and things may shift and change for you anyways in the situation that you're in. So unless you can take action, then you can't fight it, because if you fight the feeling of having to go through traffic every single day, that becomes self-punishment, because you're not surrendering. So you're not punishing anybody but yourself. Does it make sense? No. Yes, so the people that have caused you the most amount of pain, thank them. Turn it around. Instead of being traumatized and tortured about it, thank them. That's an opportunity for you to grow. They have given you an opportunity to grow. Now, going back to words, because the challenge was those were little deeper things, and it's okay to feel sad for a while, but if you have felt sad and grieving for years, then be mindful that it might have become a pattern, it might have become a habit, it might have become addiction, and you have the power to shift it and change it. Always be very mindful. That's the most important. What you say after I am. Look at your pad, your journal, what you wrote that you believe about yourself. Those are very powerful things that you believe about yourself. What you wrote down. Anything that you say after I am defines your life. Defines how you treat yourself, how you treat others, and how you attract people in your life who will treat you in those same ways. Very mindful about what you say about I after those two words, I am. Very mindful. Also very mindful of your words. I generally avoid saying things that I don't want to be. Years ago, I stopped saying, I don't know that I've ever, maybe I've said it, yeah, probably, but I made a conscious choice to not say a lot of words in my, to just not use words, in certain words in my vocabulary. I have noticed that people, when they overuse a certain word, especially when they're unconscious and directed towards other people, oh, this guy is this and that, this is this and that, they express a lot of judgment, or they have a lot of labels. Generally, the words that they're choosing only defines them. I don't use words as stupid, trash, like words of that nature. I don't use, because they will only eventually, especially if I'm so attached to using them, they will eventually just define me. And I obviously don't use such negative words towards others, because that's not a respectful way to treat a being, regardless of if the being is your dog or a human, or and you get it, so forth. So remove words that you would hate to be remove that from your vocabulary. Don't use those words. And you say, oh, but habits are hard to. They're not. It takes a choice. It takes determination. You can do anything you want to do. That's the thing. That's the power of your mind. Nothing is hard as long as you want to do it. The reason why we have trouble doing things is because we haven't decided to do them, and it's hard because we don't want to do it. We just say we want to, but truly we don't. So if you in your heart want to do something, you will do it. So to just summarize this, we are this what we say about others. So if we're in the habit of saying negative things about others, we are that thing. It comes down to that. I have observed this for years, and there is certain people that I wouldn't put myself in the presence of that use a certain type of expression, and it's for a reason. It's very powerful. Words are very powerful, very important. Begin to shift things that you say. So be mindful. The challenge is so amazing because it brings mindfulness to your words that you speak and to the thoughts that you think. During this week, I was super productive, highly productive. My mind was very positive, not 100% of the time. I had a few slip-ups, or I didn't even consider them slip-ups, and I didn't feel guilty about it because overall my mind was so strong and so directed towards being productive and creative. And I've had a lot of work done, and also I learned a lot because instead of choosing things that are critical, movies, videos, articles and so forth that are critical of society and things that are not elevating my vibrations or they're not making me feel good, I chose things that inspired me to listen to surround myself with and so forth, and to talk about. So it was amazing. It was just amazing. And overall, I'm not a negative person, but there is always room for growth. And always we take a few steps back, we move a few steps forward, we fall into a pattern, we come out of it. As long as there is as long as it's dynamic behavior, it's good. When we get stuck, that's when we have to start taking more serious action so that we get ourselves out of a rut. So yes, how we treat others, how we talk about others, all of this matters because it defines us. And that goes furthermore into how we treat our body. Do we treat our body with kindness? Do we do yoga but we don't overdo it? Do we self-beat with yoga, or do we do it to nurture and feel good during practice? Also, do we do yoga at all, or we just mistreat the body and don't do any yoga? Also, how do we eat? Do we eat nasty food and then say, I feel beautiful at any size? It's not about the size, it's about the behavior that leads to. That's why I'm pretty much saddened to see that movement about radical self-acceptance, because it's exactly the opposite of that. If some behavior of yours leads to, if a behavior of yours leads to you being unhealthy and your body being, you mistreating your body, there is no self-love in it. You can say it all you want, but if there is no action taken to actually truly love your body and treat it right and not abuse it and not poison it, then there is no self-love, no need to lie to yourself. There has to be some honesty. So how we treat ourselves with actions, how we talk to ourselves with words, how we treat our others, all of this is a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. And you can go both ways. It's two-way street. You can start with just treating other people well, or you can start changing your own self-talk. Either way, it will reflect both things. If you start talking to yourself nicely, you'll talk to others nicely. If you start talking to others nicely, you start talking to yourself nicely. I think I will finish it off with that. You can take your journal and repeat that exercise from 2 days ago, the 5 things we wrote. and see if anything is changing. Continue that once a week, once every few weeks. Come back to it and see if anything is shifting. Step away from it, read what you've written in a few days, just so that you can read it with a fresh mind. Sometimes you have major revelations, and also write it sometimes when you just woke up, so your mind is real fresh and drawing really from the subconscious, and see where that takes you. And let me know. I really want to hear. Everybody that has messaged me has left really, really heart-touching testimonies about things that they're realizing and going through. So I will finish it with that. Take full responsibility, either action or surrender, and mind your speech, mind your thoughts, and understand that you have a choice. Always, there's always a choice, and we choose our reality. We choose what we think. We choose what we feel about ourselves, and there is always an opportunity to be a victim or grow. So let's grow. Namaste.